This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Good Saturday morning to all of you out there, and welcome to another installment of 757 Sports Talk, powered by Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. I am Matthew Hatfield, wearing my ODU Hudson Blue today. He is the coach Ed Young of the now surging Smithfield Packers. He's got his blue and gold on today. We want to wish all of you out there a happy Valentine's Day here on the program. Ed's got all kinds of V-Day plans. I'm quite sure he won't divulge any of them to all of you out there. Howdy, sir, and congratulations on your latest win.
Good morning. The coach greets all. Valentine's Day is here, and once again, I get to save money as I am running unattached and have not spent a dime.
Wow.
None of
I'm shocked by that.
Fair ladies of out there, and I'm starting to get the situation. Y'all know I'm against Halloween. I think it needs to be abolished, and I'm starting to write a letter to get rid of Valentine's Day.
Really, you are that guy now. You're that guy.
No, I've actually been saying this forever. Valentine's Day somehow has turned into Women's Day.
It seems sexist here.
Well, no, because I love the fair sex, but it's like they expect a lot of things, and men hardly get anything from the woman.
Oh, so now you're going to cry.
It's not Women's Day. And I talked to a couple of my assistant coaches. I elected to give today off because assistant coaches got to get some things taken care of for their wives, girlfriends, and maybe both.
So chauvinistic with that.
So I'm thinking, men spend a whole lot of money on Valentine's Day. And by the way, a true man and a woman, you celebrate Valentine's Day every day. So not just pick one day of the year. It should be every day. Every day should be Valentine's Day. So
you just won last night. You beat the professor and the Pocosin Bull Islanders on the road. The professor is Jeremy Jordan, for those who don't know.
Jeremy Jordan is the professor.
Why are you him that grumpy down move? I understand if you had lost last night by double figures.
Oh no, I'll be on here. Here's the other thing. I really don't want to. I have had back spasm for the last 24 hours. And last night in that game,
your lady friends have all turned you down for that back massage. That's really what it boils down to.
I wouldn't mind having one of those.
That's what it boils down to, folks. He's just got to get the pearly whites like his partner. And we're going to actually, you know what? Now that we actually, I've got a friend, and she's very, very complimentary of me, and her name is, well, you know what her name is. And we asked her about, my IQ level in comparison to coaches. And here's what she said on Cova Sports TV. Before we get some special guests and dive into what matters on this particular weekend, high school hoops, maybe a little college basketball too. But here's what she said about my intellect.
Hey Alexa, is Matthew Hatfield a genius?
From rocketreach.co. With a robust skill set that includes teamwork, leadership, data analysis, project management, French, and more, Matthew Hatfield contributes valuable insights to the industry.
You heard it there, folks. You heard it right there.
Oh, you heard it too. French too. Oui. Sacre bleu.
She said contributes to the field. She didn't say you are the field. All right. Now we know there's a certain woman that has eyes for me.
Well, hold on. Let's ask one real quick before you get to her. What did Alexa say about Coach Young?
Hey Alexa, is Ed Young smart?
Sorry, I don't have an answer for that.
Oh, sorry, Coach. Sorry. Some people are geniuses. Some people, not quite.
Yeah.
She don't know me. That's why she couldn't answer that.
Well, I don't think that's
because watch this. Surry. Huh? Do you love me?
enjoy spending quality time with you.
She said, I enjoy spending quality time with you. Didn't say that she loved you, so she didn't answer the question. So,
and I'm not in love with her yet. We haven't got to that round yet. So, steps, baby steps, got to take it there. So we're moving in the right direction.
Right.
But I like to be single because I ain't spending all that money, $400 or $500 on the average on Valentine's Day. Every day is Valentine's Day. Take care of your honeys, gentlemen, in every way. And women out there, remember, it's Valentine's Day, not Woman's Day.
Well, before we get to our first guest after the break, a couple of high school hoops news and notes. There have been some surprises this week. If you thought Indian River knocking off Nansman River was a surprise this week, that was. If you thought Manor in Portsmouth beating Lake Taylor, Manor team that's won, 8 games all year, beating Lake Taylor, I think it's been 1 or 2 in the state in Class 3 almost the entire campaign, was a surprise. It was. And then maybe the biggest one on Friday night came in your district, Ed, in the Bay Rivers. How about the Gloucester, don't call them JMU Dukes, knocking off the War Hill Lions? So going into Friday night, in terms of the records real quickly, Gloucester was just 2-17 and War Hill was 15-5. And it ends up being a victory for the Dukes at home as they knock off the War Hill Lions 62-59. That was a shocker, a stunner, maybe the upset of the year.
Yeah, we heard that last night, after our game in the locker room. I thought it was a misprint. Obviously being in the league, both those teams, we played them. War Hill's very, very good. They put 5 scores on the floor at all times. And it's hard. They're hard to defend. They stretch you very well. Gloucester's a very young team, starts a freshman or 2, if I'm not mistaken. And they're trying to find their way under Coach Hayes. I think it's the second year. Michael Hayes is head coach up there. That was really a surprise. Paul Hall, dear friend of mine at War Hill, I almost want to call him and ask him, but it's probably not in the right mood to call him to see what happened there. We had just played those teams. We played Gloucester last week at our place, and then we played War Hill this past Tuesday, which was the only game of our last 4 that we lost. We had 4 games this week. And we went 3-1, and the lost game was up over at War Hill, as we just couldn't get out of the hole that we kind of dug for ourselves early in that ball game. So that was very much a surprise, very much surprise.
Yeah, it was a stunner to me. A couple of big noteworthy results, though, involving the high school hoops teams, the game of the week type games, if you will, on Friday night. It was the Norview Pilots completing an unbeaten run in the Eastern District, Ed, as they take down Lake Taylor again. They were down 11, but they rally 54-44 behind a combined 45 points from the Mitchells, their cousins, Keon Fats Mitchell and Zamarion Mitchell, who had 25 of those 45 points for Norview in that comeback win. So they have locked up the number 1 seed in Region 5B. As for Lake Taylor, they wait for their fate. We'll see what side of the bracket they'll be on, if it'll be on the Petersburg side of the bracket or on the other side of the bracket. New Kent has the number 1 seed at the moment. We'll see if they close it out next week with some games that remain. Also, a big game in the Southeastern District. It was in the Peanut City where Nansman River knocked off Kings Fork earlier this season. You remember it back in January, the Tehran Atwater buzzer beater. Atwater had a big game again for the Warriors, finished up with 24 points, but they dropped to 16-6 overall because Kings Fork shot lights out from 3-point distance. Freshman Desmond DJ Hubbard with 25 points. Tyson Harper, DJ Hubbard and Tyson Harper, they combined for 45, just like the Mitchells did. Harper with 20, and the Bulldogs now 17-4 overall, 9th consecutive win, and they now zero in on the number 2 seed in Region 5B. So I don't know if I'd say according to form, but Norview now has won, I believe, 8 in a row. Kings Fork has now won 9 in a row, and they look like they could be the 2 teams to watch out for in Region 5B on their way to 1 and 2 seeds. We'll see if they do end up eventually hooking up in the region finals over there in Norfolk.
Yeah, and it's a good time to get hot because if I'm not mistaken, end of next week, a lot of districts, regions, it's playoff time. I know Region 4 starts on the 20th. We still have 2 regular season games to go. We'll play Tuesday and Wednesday, which is we had 6 games, I think, in 9 days. So we still have 2 more to go. We'll find out at some point next week where are we ranked at in terms of regional play or our seed is.
Well, I'll tell you later in the show because I can tell you where you sit presently. But we have to do some house cleaning And because not because Ed Young has visitors coming over, or, people they're going to be partying for Valentine's Day, but because we have a couple special guests that are joining us here on Cova Sports TV. Later on in the program, we're supposed to be joined by the new football coach at Phoebus High School, Alonzo Coley. But when we return from break, we'll be chatting with Wilhelm Johns. He is the first-year head girls basketball coach at Surry High School. They didn't win a game last year before Coach Johns took over. Now they're 20-1 and rocking and rolling, set to be the number 1 seed in Region 1B. And he's doing it with freshmen. Top 4 scores, Ed, are freshmen. So he'll chat about that with us. Coming back after the break right here on Cova Sports TV and 757 Sports Talk. But first, a quick word from the sponsors to help make it possible. Stay tuned.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
It's 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and the one and only Coach Ed Young. Every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on Cova Sports TV. From high school football and basketball to the NFL, MLB, college sports, and the NBA, if it's making headlines, they are breaking it down. Bold takes, big-time guests, and a few laughs, especially at the expense of that basketball coach, Ed Young. Catch it on Cox TV and your view, and don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube at Cova Sports TV.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And welcome back to 757 Sports Talk, powered by Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm hoping we've got him out there on the program. We're not getting any camera view, but I do think we have our special guest. He is the first-year head girls basketball coach at Surry High School, 20-1, victorious last night over Greensville. We say hello to Coach Wilhelm Johns. Coach, you out there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning. Good morning.
Thanks for joining us on the program. And let's talk about it. Heck of a job by your young ladies this year. This is your first year out the helm. Now, you are familiar with Surry, though. You've been a part of the athletic programs, and you are the AD there, correct?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Second year as the AD.
Well, tell us about this because it's pretty impressive, pretty cool what has transpired with your team to get to this point and have this record at 20-1 and doing it with ninth graders.
Yeah. My team is we got 11 girls on the team. 6 of them are freshmen, 1 senior, 1 junior, 3 sophomores. And last year, when I came into the program, I just started working at Surry as a teacher last year. I came in and was the middle school coach with these young ladies. We won the middle school championship, went undefeated in middle school. Last year, as everybody knows, we went 0-23. We saw that the future was going to be bright, though. So this offseason, we worked, got in the gym, and here we stand.
Now, tell us about some of these young ladies because I know Coach is captivated by it, as am I. 20-1, you did have 1 blemish in the early part of the season, I think it was. against Petersburg, who's a Class 3 program that's pretty good. No slouch. We know about the boys program being dominant. But ever since then, you've just been rolling with speed and athleticism, getting it done for you. Defense turning into offense.
Yes, sir. Our motto is defense win championships, offense sells tickets. So we want to get a lot of points. We're trapping. If you can't break our trap, it's going to be a long night for you. I have Debria Newby. She's freshman. She's about 6'1". She's averaging 22 points, 17 rebounds, 4 steals, 2 blocks a game. Then I have another freshman, Michaela Drew. She's averaging 13 points, 10 rebounds, 6 steals, 3 assists a game. And then I have another freshman, Anaya Johns. She's averaging 11 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 steals a game.
Not too shabby for the Surry Lady Cougars. 20-1 on the season, Ed, zeroing in on a number 1 seed in Region 1B. And our guest is Coach Wilhelm Johns, first year at the helm, also the school's athletic director at 757 Sports Talk. Brought to you by Cova Sports TV. Ed?
Hey, Coach, heck of a season so far. I know we still got playoffs and that coming up. Something we always like to do on here when we get a guest that we really haven't had on much before. Can you give us a journey of your background, where you went, high school, any college situation, and then any previous coaching, and all the way up to the Surry situation right now?
Okay, well, I'm a Surry County alumni. Played football at Surry. Was on the first state football championship team with Coach Gillis. Went and played a little football at Chowan. The thing is, I'm a football coach at heart. Never thought I would be coaching girls basketball. I started coaching football at Surry. Then they had a change of coaches, and then I went to Windsor. While at Windsor, I got presented with the opportunity. Well, first, I got asked to interview for the boys' job. Interview for the boys' job went well, but they went with somebody more experienced. No problem. Then I was asked would I coach the girls? And, was kind of undecided. Went home, talked with my wife, and she said, hey, give it a try. So that's what I done. I gave it a try. I was a little nervous. And if anybody knows Windsor, historically, the girls basketball program wasn't that well. That first season I was there, we only won 2 games. The second season, which was COVID season, we went 0-5. But that third season, 21-22, we went 17-5, made the playoffs. And then the fourth season, I went 17-7, made it to the regional playoffs again. Then after that, I took a year off. Then that's that. Now we're here.
Impressive stuff.
What I wanted to see is now being the athletic director, obviously you interviewed yourself and hired yourself for the Surry situation and have completely 360 that program, which I think Matt and I have a couple of years back broadcast Surry County girls in a state championship game. So there's been some pedigree for the girls to be pretty good there. What
Chris
made
you remember? Yeah.
Yeah. What made you, Coach, to decide, well, you know what? Because AD is a heck of a job, and now you added another one on there. That's a lot of work. But what made, I know you said you were the middle school coach too. Pretty much you knew you would have those girls and that you'd be able to take those youngsters and do something with them.
Yeah, well, we seen that we wanted to go in a direction that we knew we had a good group of girls coming, but we had to make sure we had somebody that was going to push out the most out of them. Now, if I'm being totally honest, I honestly didn't think I would be the head coach. Just because as a dad, sometimes you want to sit back and watch a child play. But I'm at a point now where I got the job and I'm just pushing them to all we can be.
Well, that's my next question before I let Matt come back in here. When you were mentioning your players, I heard one of them with the last name Johns. So I'm assuming that's your daughter. And if it is, how is it being the head coach / dad of one of the players who seems to be pretty good too?
Well, that's one of the toughest jobs on the team. When I try my best to, when we get home, I talk as dad and not as coach. And, I try to leave everything at the practice court, at the games. and just try to be dad. But it's a tough balance.
Oh, I can imagine it is. What's the biggest thing you've learned about this group with freshmen 20-1? Here you are with aspirations, I'm sure, to make noise in the region and beyond that, perhaps in the state tournament if you're fortunate enough to get there. What have you learned about this group here as ninth graders?
The true thing I really learned is the resilience they have. I knew we would have a good season, but I didn't imagine it'll be what we are now. We had a couple of games where we got down a few points. Matter of fact, the first time we played Greensville, it was 2 minutes left in the game, and we was down by 5. And we came back and won by 3. Early in the season, we played Cumberland. And we got down at a point, I think about 3 points. Next thing I know, we had turned it around and we had pushed the lead back up to 11. Like, they show true resilience for freshmen, because usually when something goes wrong, it usually trickles down and continue to go bad. But these girls show true resilience and just keep fighting and keep pushing through.
Pretty incredible stuff there. We're got a couple more minutes here with the first-year head girls basketball coach of the Surry Cougars. That's Wilhelm Johns, our guest here on 757 Sports Talk, powered by Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. And as you look at the landscape of girls basketball, Class 1, how much have you been trying to study up here? Because the playoffs are upon us. I'm sure you and your staff are checking out different films on the NFHS and around the region of teams and kind of gathering intel, because it's now playoff time. Now, do you all have a district tournament before the regionals, or do you go straight into regionals?
Well, actually, our district tournament got canceled because of so many makeup games.
Okay.
We were supposed to play. We were just going to do a 2-team championship, but because of the weather, we decided to cancel the tournament. So we don't play again until Friday for the first the quarterfinal game of the region. And yeah, I've been looking around at a region A and C and D, and seeing what's out there. But I like to take it one game at a time.
Sure. What can you get better at here with this team being so young and 20-1, and you getting the honor and well-deserved of Tri-Rivers District Coach of the Year, your players getting a lot of postseason honors, but the journey's not done yet. I know you can get better as you try to get championships this season.
One thing we just got to learn, you're dealing with a bunch of freshmen. Sometimes every shot that's open ain't a good shot to take, so that's just one of the things that we got to learn. It's the growing pains in it. They'll sit there and they'll shoot it, and I'd be like, but then I got to think, hey, I got 4 freshmen on the court. So we're going to make those mistakes. But we like to make those mistakes, and we make it up hustling. If we take a bad shot, we're going to make it up on the defensive end.
Well, Ed, I'm not sure there's a better story in Virginia basketball, girls or boys, to take over a team that was 0-23. I think it was, Coach. Was it 0-23 last year?
Yes, sir.
0-23 and now be 20-1 with 4 freshmen as the leading scorers. It's unheard of what's going on over there at Surry High School.
Yeah, I got to believe, Coach, we don't have any official records, but when we talk greatest turnarounds, and especially in basketball because of so many games, I've heard things like, team go 5-15 and then all of a sudden go 15-5. But 20, I don't ever remember an 0 for team coming back the very next year and winning 20. And predominantly freshmen are the standouts. That's amazing, because
it's not 4 or 5 transfers. That it's homegrown freshmen.
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't like he went out and went to the portal. So that's an absolute amazing.
Well, these group of girls been playing together for a few years now. They played in middle school. I ran a travel ball team, and we played over the summer for a couple of years together. So the cohesiveness of these freshmen, they have been playing together for a while.
Yeah, it's certainly showing. Pretty cool stuff. Well,
now, Coach, you say you played Friday. Do you have a regional schedule?
No, we haven't got our. Well, we know that we'll play Friday. Quarterfinals, the semifinals will be that following Tuesday, and then our regional championship game is played at Louisa High School. But we don't know if it'll be that Friday or that Saturday. It depends on what Louisa does in the playoffs.
Now, do you know who your first round opponent is yet?
No, we don't know yet. A couple of our teams in our region still have games left.
Okay.
Well, we'll definitely be looking forward to following.
Right now, it's looking at like we might It's between three teams. We either gonna play the Governor School, Brunswick, or Buffalo Gap. That's what it's looking at. They're in that 7, 8, 9 mix.
Okay, so either ARGS, Buffalo Gap, or Brunswick. And the region championship, I believe you told me yesterday, is going to be at Louisa High School, correct?
Yes.
All right, good to know. So we'll be following it. We'll have brackets up on VirginiaPreps.com and pass along a lot of information here on Cova Sports TV as we get closer. That is Wilhelm Johns. He is the first-year head girls basketball coach at Surry High School 21. They're not done yet, getting some hardware on the agenda. Tri-Rivers District, now they're going into regional play, and they try to get to the state tournament. Thank you so much for stopping by. All the best to you, and I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. That's Wilhelm Johns, our guest here.
All right, have a great day.
You too. The head girls basketball coach at Surry High School. Incredible stuff. What's going on over there at Surry High School? We have another timeout, and when we come back, and we have a special guest with us, another one. We have Wilhelm Johns, special guest. We've got the new head football coach of the Phoebus Phantoms, Alonzo Coley. People know him over there at Ireland Street because he used to be an assistant on some state championship teams when Bill D led the way, and Stan Sexton and Jeremy Blunt. Been a head coach before at Kicatana High School and Woodside High School. He's no stranger to this show. And oh, by the way, he's a good friend of somebody that you owe a steak to. And that somebody is Willie Gauze. So when we come back, I want to see if Coach Coley and Coach Gauze have decided to corner you somewhere, trap you on Valentine's Day, and make sure Coach G gets his steak. When we come back here on some. You have anything to say about that before we go to break?
Yeah, I definitely owe Willie. And I told him he signs up for the Basketball Coach Association of Virginia, the steak dinner.
No. Stop with this. He should do that, yes. But stop with the sign-up stuff. You owe the man a steak. Don't be welching out on your bet. You lost.
Yeah, that's from a couple years ago. So I'm going to have to, I'll give him the trimmings with the steak if he signs up with the BCAF.
The trimmings. Well, yeah, he should do that, and that's fine. But you still owe the man a steak.
I will do that.
Matter of fact, when you pay the bill for the steak is when he should fill out his little application for the BCAF. There you go. So it's on you, not on him.
Maybe he'll want me to sign him up instead of the steak dinner. And you know me.
No,
I'm like you.
I think he would prefer the steak. I can't believe you're actually saying that he would rather pass on the steak. You always said winner buys. You beat him in overtime when he was at Kicatana in the regionals, and now you're still trying to escape it. Just pay up. Or stop saying winner buys. Say loser buys. Then you would have got a steak. How about that?
That's true. That is very true.
It's your own fault. We'll talk football too, not just steaks and bets. We come back on 757 Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe. You're watching Cova Sports TV. But now from those that make it possible.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
Cova Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit covapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Bacon cheeseburger for a limited time, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. Yeah, this is not the time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. And there's bacon on that burger. The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Now, for a limited time on the $7 Meal Deal lineup. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
What does happiness mean to you?
Being in the ocean with you, watching you catch super fun waves.
In Virginia Beach, happiness is breaking barriers and savoring the sunshine.
I couldn't pick a better place or a better person to be with. This is what makes me happy.
Happiness is going all out.
And taking it all in.
Here, happiness is whatever you make it. Find yours in Virginia Beach.
And now back to Matthew Hatfield and the evil basketball coach. Blast you, Ed Young!
And welcome you back to 757 Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to Cova Sports TV and interact with us wherever you may be. We now have with us on the program a special guest. He is the new head football coach of the Phoebus Phantoms, and what a storied tradition the Phantoms have in high school football, not just in the Peninsula District, but statewide with the state championships that they have captured, 11 since the turn of the century. They got 4 under the late, great Bill D, Hall of Famer. Stan Sexton led them to 3 more. Jeremy Blunt led them to 4 more. And here they have a guy trying to keep the championships coming to the trophy case. He's the former head football coach at Kickinton High School in Woodside. We say hello and congrats to Alonzo Coley. Coach, thanks for stopping by. And you're back at a place that you're quite familiar with, huh?
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me, guys.
Well, tell me about this opportunity to go back home, if you will. I know it's not your hometown, but it's really kind of your home in the 757 where your coaching journey started.
Yeah, it is. I'm excited to be back. It's kind of overwhelming a little bit to be around all those championships and all those great guys that I've coached with, and I'm really excited to be there with all those great players that we have coming back.
What was the first thing that popped in your mind when you heard that Jeremy Blunt was not going to be coming back? They just missed out on that drive for 5 last year. Did it with a relatively young team. 20 starters graduated from their 4-peat. They knock off Hampton, who beat them by a running clock during their season, then lose to Lafayette in a close one in the region championship. Job opens up right at the start of the new year. What goes through your head?
Well, actually, when I heard about it, I was on a cruise. So, and then we got to port and my phone just kept bing, bing, and bing. And I was, oh my God, what's going on? So I was very surprised by that. Last year was a little difficult for those guys. And they had 30 guys actually the year before that were seniors that had left. So there's a lot of transition. It'll be that same way this year. A lot of guys moving up that are going to be pretty young and skillful as well.
How about that? He was on a cruise, Ed, when he found out about the job being open. And next thing you know, a few weeks later, voila, he's the head coach.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way to find out. It's funny you said that because as you were saying that, I remember years ago when I was on a cruise too, came back, phone had a bunch of messages in the Nansemond River job and something had opened. And I had no intention of taking it because I was a green run. We just had a great year. And make a long story short, I was there for 20 years. So
I remember, yeah.
I think it was there. Coach, I got to ask you, though, this is not a regular football job. This Phoebus, this state known, and I dare say at the very least East Coast known, as they have played some games along the East Coast out and about. I would imagine most people say, I don't want to touch that because it's the only thing you could do is go downward. And there was a transition for Phoebus last year as some kids had left the program and moved on to some of the big private schools or whatever. But obviously, with you being there or whatever, that thought really never entered your mind.
No, not at all. I was fortunate enough to work with all 3 of the coaches you named before, with Coach D and Stan Sexton and also with Jeremy. So I know all about what the program is built on and what it's going to be there. We still got a good pipeline of kids coming in. So I'm really excited about that. Being there for 8 of the state titles. I've been a big part of most of those. So I kind of know what it takes, and I kind of know what to kind of hold, what to expect, and hopefully I can not mess it up, kind of,
Well, my thing is when you get jobs of this nature, like we look at the college level, North Carolina, this is basketball, North Carolina, Duke, Michigan State, Michigan, they'll say we need a Michigan man, we need a Carolina man, we need a Duke man. I think in this situation, Phoebus, whether they said it or not, they got a Phoebus man. They got somebody that's very up to date on that information in terms of what that program does and how they carry it along, which I like to believe makes it a smoother transition. But you got some of that fan base in Phoebus. The standard is 9 wins. No, we're not going over and under. We're talking 9.
15. It's not 9. Get it right. It ain't no 9 wins. It's 15.
I don't want to put pressure on you, Coach. Now, this dude will put pressure on you. I'm not doing that. But yeah,
I appreciate it.
It's like I said, it's not a normal high school football job. To me, it just isn't. And I remember when we were picking games, Matt and I do the games here, and there was some stumps that Phoebus in. I kept saying, I'm going Phoebus until they lose because of that program's history. Until they lose consistently, I'm sticking with them because that's what they've earned.
Yeah, we well, I tell you, like, I like to quote Mike Tomlin. The standard is the standard. The standard for us is that, hey, your belief is that we do not lose. Our belief is that we outwork everybody. We're more physical than everybody, and that is the standard. So that's what we're going to go in and set. And those guys got to believe in that. That's what has been this program since I've been here since 2007, and that's what it's going to always be.
Now, I don't want to get up here and lie and say, oh, man, he kicked Phoebus's butt when he was at Woodside and Kickingham. But if I'm not mistaken, Coach, you did knock off Phoebus one time when you were at Kickingham, right? When you had Jason Fugate, Nick Carrera, Desmond Savage, and that crew?
Yeah, 2014, that was a really good year for us. I had a lot of talented guys. I had a lot of talented coaches along with us. That we had a great run there. Those guys are really impactful. Every now and then I do remind Jeremy about that, though.
Well, no, I believe you were 9-3 with that group, and you also coached here recently at Woodside. So what did you learn, not just from your time at Phoebus with Coach D and Coach Sexton and Coach Blunt, part of those 8 championships as an assistant, but in your journeys as a head coach at Kickingham and Woodside, other schools in the PD, so you're familiar with the style of play in the Peninsula District. What can you take from those experiences that can help you in this one as you now start to build a staff and cultivate things as the head man at Phoebus?
Definitely about how to make relationships with our young men. I mean, we really got to make sure those guys are buying into what you're selling, really making sure that they understand what the standard is and what the culture is going to bring to us. Having been to other places, they've had their shortfalls and their strong points too. Had to work around some things, so sometimes not as much talent sometimes. So I had to work around those things. So I kind of learned a little bit about how to work when you don't have, and it's great when you do have. So I'm excited about it.
A few minutes here with the head football coach of the Phoebus Phantoms, Alonzo Coley, our guest here on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. A school that's got a storied tradition since Hampton's dominant run in the 90s. Phoebus has turned the century calendar to 11 titles here in the 2000s, and Coach Coley, previously the head man at Woodside, also was the head coach at Kickingham. Ed?
Coach, are you allowed to divulge to us maybe some things you're bringing to the job itself, maybe offensively, defensively?
Oh yeah, no problem. We're still going to be a 2-high shell type team on defense. Having some really explosive safeties that are really cover the half and come down and fill the alley as you guys are used to. We got some great guys back there. Some guys that are playing on the next level. Offensively, as my forte will be probably going back to a little bit more to what we grew up with the 2-back type stuff, going a little bit more under center, a little more play action, misdirection, good gap scheme stuff. So it'll be more just kind of fitting our talents, probably be a little bit more smash mouth than what has been in the past, but we definitely will be spreading the field out too and putting the ball in space.
Now, what about have you hired any staff for sure? And if you can you give those names of the people you're bringing on?
I'm still working on that, man. It's been a little transition here. I know some guys that are still interviewing and those kind of things, so we're still up in the air right now.
Okay. It's funny you say that because I was just listening to John Harbaugh, who just got hired as the head coach of the Giants, talk about this in an interview that building a staff in football, I think it's even more so than any other sport, including Eds in basketball, whether it be pro, college, or high school. That's such a big deal now. And I think it's becoming harder than it was many, many years ago. Have you found that as well? That's the tricky part, to whether it's someone in the building, the time piece of it, being committed to it. Is that the toughest part of this whole thing?
Yeah, this has been the hardest part. So you said I've been coaches other places. This has been the hardest part of putting things together. Like I said, the time is important. It's not a lot of pay and time, so it's a lot of investment of time. But also, you got to get the chemistry right. You got to get, hey, I need these guys to be more motivators. I need these guys to be more S&O guys. I need these guys to be more guys that are like tacticians about me and guys that can teach kids. So it's not just bringing a guy that was a great player and put him on your staff. That doesn't always work. So that culture and that chemistry piece is really huge.
Yeah, it's no doubt about it, a big deal. And typically, for those that are unaware, how many members on the staff are you looking to field at like a school such as Phoebus or when you're at Woodside and Kickingham? What's the number ballpark, if you can?
Around 15.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a tricky dance there.
Yeah,
But going to the thing that makes it, as you know, I'm going to bring this up here, the plus, you have an athletic director in Paul Macklin, who was there at Woodside with you. You have a guy that you were there at the school as the basketball coach, the guy that Ed's trying to welch on his steak bet. Willie Gauze over there as the basketball coach at Phoebus. So you have people that you know, and plus guys that you have been with coaching with for many, many years at Phoebus when you were the assistant coach.
Well, if you look in the background back there in that picture, you'll see David Coakley, another guy that was there with Ed over at Nazareth River. He's our principal.
Yeah.
So a bunch of guys.
Does Ed owe him a steak too, by the way? I think he does, doesn't he? I think he owes Coach Coakley a steak too at some point.
Well, Willie is listening right now, and he said he's going to get his steak.
Oh,
he's listening right now.
Okay.
So he's going to get his steak. But that's also a much added bonus being there with Coach G and a lot of people that I already knew. It's been welcoming coming back home. It feels natural, feels right being those guys. But Willie said he's going to get his steak now.
All right, Ed, you better buckle. As a matter of fact, look at he's commenting. I need my steak. He doesn't want his steak. You know, Ed always says he needs this, he needs that. Willie needs his steak. Ed doesn't want it. He needs it.
Willie, have you joined the B cab yet?
Oh, stop with this. I think you know what, Coach Coley. I think Ed gets a kickback for every subscription, doesn't he? He has to.
I wish I would, but I don't. I really wish I would.
He needs a kickback.
Hey, Coach, I want to ask you, being a veteran, you've been successful. In growing up in the profession, though, was there any coaches, could be personal or, the college or pro level, any coach you kind of looked up to and stole a lot from maybe what they do?
Well, I'm from Maryland initially. So growing up, Morgan Wooten, actually, when I was growing up, I wanted to be a basketball coach. I wanted to be a basketball player, but Morgan Wooten was a guy. I went to his camp every year. It was around the corner from us. I really got a lot from him. There's a coach that I coached with back home that I really learned how Garl taught me about situational play calling and those kind of things. I learned a lot from. From Coach D about just being meticulous about everything, the details and those things. I was talking about working with Stan. Stan was great about just finding guys and getting them in the right spot. And I learned a lot about from Coach Blunt about him. He was great about personal with the kids, like, hey, how to motivate them, how to get them to do those things, how to get them to run through that wall for you. So I kind of those things, but definitely starting off was Morgan Wooten when I was growing up.
That's not a bad one to have. Morgan Wooten, a Hall of Fame high school coach, one of the best to ever do it, Ed.
No question. I'm unfortunately, I guess I'm on that list of his career wins. I think over 1,000. We played it one time when I was at Altoona High School in Pennsylvania. Morgan was a gem, and I attended his clinics every year, and a real gentleman in the game. And you mentioned basketball, but people will say, "Well, Coach Coley, you're football. How can you learn anything from it?" His methodology works in any sport.
Absolutely.
And how his relationship, that you build relationship with players and what he does works in every sport. So it's not just sports specific. And that's the key that people have to understand, that in coaching, I think the bottom line in coaching is, and you kind of touched on it, be able to get those kids to do what you exactly need done, kind of run through the wall in certain situations. Because nowadays, those kids are going to question everything.
Absolutely.
And they've got other options, so to speak. And it's a lot harder to get them moving in one direction.
They have so much more knowledge. There's so much more things out there that they can kind of get things from the internet, from this and that. So they get so much more knowledge. So you got to be on your game, and you got to find ways to reach them. Absolutely.
Well, we're looking forward to what's in store over there at Phoebus High School. We know the old motto of Team Me and what's been built.
Team Little Me.
That's right. From Coach D on to Coach Sexton and Coach Blunt. And now they keep it in the family in a sense here with Coach Alonzo Coley. Congrats again. Thank you so much. Look forward to following what's ahead in the off season for you. And next time we get you on, we're going to find out if it was well done, medium well, rare, what it was, because I want to make sure that you take care of this to accelerate this process that Ed keeps delaying.
Knowing Willie Gauze, he'll have Alonzo there, probably 3 of his other friends there. I'll be like, what, is this the Last Supper? What do we got, the 12 apostles here?
Absolutely.
It's that way.
Yeah. Be a great time.
Well, all the best to you. Have a great weekend, Coach. We'll talk down the road soon.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Take care.
the new head football coach of the Phoebus Phantoms, our guest. We'll come back with more here on 757 Sports Talk, including some playoff talk. We have some power ratings pairings at the moment, up to the date in about 4 to 5 regions. I've actually had a couple of the administrators text me with some updates, and I have a question for those out there watching in 5A. So I'm going to give you what I got in 6A, what I got in 4A, Ed's region, also the region Phoebus is in. 3A, I have up to the minute in boys and girls, and 5B. It's all coming your way here on 757 Sports Talk, and they're watching where, Edward?
The best place to be, Cova Sports TV.
Back in a bit. Stay tuned.
Did you know that the minimum limits in Virginia are $30,000? $30,000 is a lot of money on an individual basis, but if you're involved in a personal injury matter, that's not enough. Here at Williams-Deloitte, we're happy to provide a consultation on the amount of coverage you have in your vehicle. It can be confusing. Not many people understand it. You know you need to have it, but do you have enough? Give us a call today at 757-547-5555 so we can help you prepare in the case of an automobile accident or any other personal injury matter that you or your family may find yourself in.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why there's CHKD Sports Medicine. Advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Bacon cheeseburger, fries, drink, and a sundae. No time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. Right now at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us. And the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
All right, I'm here with Green Run head basketball coach Kenneth Harris of the reigning Class 5 state champion Stallions, who won it over Salem on senior night, 58-51. They closed out the regular season 19-4 overall, 7 straight win over Salem in the series, and most importantly, coach, you wrap up the number 1 seed. And always good to win on senior night. You have 5 seniors in your starting lineup that you get to celebrate tonight: in Julius Hymans, Xavier Cleveland, Elijah Ellison, Malik Gooden, and Dejan Burrell-Williams. And this was a nip-and-tuck battle for most of the way, wasn't it?
Yeah, man, Salem is one of those teams that match up well with us. They're so big. And Bitsy, man, he's a player. So, you know, we knew they would come to play, and they've been playing very good basketball. So, you know, I wanted to win the rebounding battle, but, you know, unfortunately we couldn't. But, shoot, I thought we fought today.
Yes, I think you did a good job early on, though, in the game. Came out with energy, and then in the second quarter you applied some full court pressure. You caused some turnovers of them and got layups out of that. How much was that a focus to get, see if you can speed them up a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, just get them off balance. That's always key. You know, don't have teams comfortable of what they like to do, and keep them off balance as much as possible. So, you know, we still got to adjust some things and get some stuff ready for the playoff. But you know, good win.
Even though Salem fought back and erased an 11-point deficit, got that 2-man game goal with Mincy, as you mentioned, Josiah Mincy and Terrell Lewis inside. 2 of the biggest plays to me that might not show up in the stats. One, KJ Williford. He didn't score in this game, but he dives on the floor for a loose ball. They grew up 7 in the second quarter. How much did you guys feel off just that hustle from him?
I mean, he's a soldier, man. And one thing about him, man, he's going to play. Like, if somebody playing for these seniors, he's one of them. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that, you know, KJ, he's been around this program since he was a little baby. So he knows the pedigree and he knows what we're about.
And the other one, end of the third quarter, they cut it to 1, and Quavon Cleveland for you, sophomore football standout, who started for you a lot here in the second half of the season, gets an and 1 to put you up 4 because it felt like momentum was starting to creep on their side.
Big bucket. You know, I was worried about him at the free throw line. I actually think he ended up shooting. Who was he from the free throw line?
Ended up making 2 of 5, but it could have been an overnight, right?
But you know, we call him the Shaq sometimes. Yeah. But you know, he's been working on it, and he does, and he played hard. You know, one of the things we emphasize with him is like go after the offensive rebound and play hard and block shots. And he he comes and gets fresh minutes and being able to give Dejor and Zay and them some time to sit on that bench and get some rest.
But so much is this about on this night your seniors, because a lot of them were role players on a state championship team, and you graduated 2 4-year starters in Cash Jackson and David Trey Miller, but you got timely plays from all of them. I know Zay's the newcomer for that group with the starting 5, but Dejan Burrell Williams with 13 points tonight. Gooden, 19 points, a few assists. He's been coming on here lately. And the Hyman's had 7 rebounds to match the team lead. And Elijah Ellison had a key 3 for you as well.
Yeah, oh man, they played like they didn't want to lose that senior night tonight. So that they knew that just senior night. So they wanted to step up. We just gotta, and we're trying to make sure this tune up. I'm gonna ride these guys. Those are the guys. They know I'm gonna win or lose with them. So we got to be ready to go.
Last 2 for you to win 19 games with the schedule you've played, even outside the Beach District. What's it speak of to lose the players you did, but have them buy in, because it hasn't been easy. I know Princeton's swept you a couple times this year, but you guys were able to take pride in getting this one tonight.
I mean, it took us. We started off the season, man. We were still trying to find our rhythm and our identity. As the season kept going, we fought and we had some tough. We want to be battle tested in these situations. So to get battle tested is always good for a veteran team. So hopefully, it'll show in the playoffs.
Well, and lastly, I heard you say it on the court as your seniors were getting recognized. We want to get 6 more, which would be 3 region wins and 3 state tournament wins to try to go back-to-back, which is going to be a difficult task in Class 5. What's it going to take to have an opportunity to do that in a Class 5 field that feels pretty wide open?
Man, it's wide open. It's going to be tough. Region is very tough, 1 through 8, man. So whoever our first-round game is going to be tough. At this point, I'll tell people, and one thing Coach Carter, rest in peace, my old coach, always say, actually won't Coach Carter, Coach Johnson. He always say, at this point, nobody's a lapdog. Everybody's a greyhound. So we got to treat every game like it's a big game from here on out.
Well, Steelers are guaranteed at least one more game at home here on Dahlia Drive. Thank you so much, and all the best.
All right.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
So you heard from Kenneth Harris, head basketball coach, the reigning Class 5 state champion Green Run Stallions. They lock up. They sewed up the number 1 seed in Region 5A. Other number 1 seeds that have been locked and loaded. We know on the girls' side, Princess Anne, they locked it up, I think, when they threw the ball up for the first game of the year, right? In 6A, on the boys and girls' side, the number 1 seed for girls appears to be Manchester, while on the boys' side, it's going to be Oscar Smith. They have wrapped up the 1 seed. The number 2 seed is going to most likely be Manchester. The 3 seed Lancetown. The 4 seed becomes LC Bird, which had the inside track on the number 3 seed, Ed, but they canceled the Manchester Bird rematch game. This is what I hate. I'm going to go on a soapbox rant here, and you're going to have to get me off this soapbox. What I hate is we had snow all over the state. You said it wasn't much snow. It's not going to snow. Well, we did have snow. And Bird, after last night, has only played a total of 14 games. They have 2 left against Powhatan and Clover Hill. And I get it. You can't make up some games. I'm not picking on Bird here. I don't want to be like I'm picking on one school here just because there's a lot of schools in the area. And a lot of schools in the state are doing this. They're not making up games. And it might not be the coach's fault or the administrator's fault. It could be a variety of factors' fault. So I'm not trying to pick on one particular school or team or coach here. But then in their same region, same area, J.R. Tucker, which has had a rough year, only 2 wins. They lost to Maggie Walker last night. And they were pretty good last year, if you remember, got to the region semis and then 5C. They were in the same region as Bird last year, both come up to 6A. They've now played a total of 20 games, and they're going to get 22 games in. So how we got teams in the same region, same area, in some cases, same district, and this applies to your district too, which will get you in trouble, so be careful when you pick your words here. You got some schools playing 22, 23 games, and other schools playing 18, 17, 16. I have a problem with that. I have a big problem with it. Nonetheless, instead of a possible all-Richmond semi and an all-Tidewater semi, it could be Tidewater-Richmond with Smith and Bird in the second round and a Lancetown-Manchester in the second round. We'll see how it all shakes out. I know you're going to be partial and biased, which you have no problem being, and say we'll get Smith-Lancetown in the final. I think Lancetown wins the region any way you slice it, and we'll get to 5A, 5B, 4A, 3A in a second. But I just don't like how there should be some hold the feet to the fire. And I'll give you one in girls. I want to say, and I could be wrong about this, somebody correct me if I am, I think Colonial Heights it is, or somebody it might be, hasn't played the minimum number of games required to qualify for regionals, which I think in that region 16. So they have a win percentage and record good enough to get in. But if you can't make up some of these games, or you're dodging making up some of these games, which again, some schools are, I'm not saying this particular school is, that's a problem, isn't it?
I agree. I think it is a problem. We, of course, like everybody else, affected with the weather, and we had to really crunch some games in to the point where we had like 6 games in 9 or 10 days, because my mindset was, we've got to play these games, so I guess we got to get them in. I wasn't thinking of, well, I don't want to play that one. I don't want to play that one. This will help us by not playing that. It'll help us. We just played them, and our kids were dead tired last night. Practice the other day on Thursday was, we talk about walkthroughs, but we had played 3 straight days. We had a crawl through. We had, I think, 5 guys in ice. I think it was the coaches on the floor actually running stuff, not the players. But and then we had the game last night. I gave them today off. We're going to be back on the practice floor on Monday, play Tuesday, Wednesday on the road, practice Thursday, and play Friday in the playoffs. Now,
let me ask this question real quick. So, not to cut you off, but let me ask you this: what if a school is trying to make up some of these games? And this could be the case with the Bird or whoever else. I don't know. And the opponents that are struggling don't want to play that game, or you have teams that are trying to. What do you do as a coach? Are you kind of helpless in this situation? How does this get solved? Because I feel like this is sort of a problem. I was always taught, or at least in my brain, you make up the next game on your schedule at the next available date, and not everybody's going by that method or applying that method.
No, the way I like to do it is, okay, we have a game that has to be moved because of the weather. Okay, I like to get with the head coach, other head coach, and say, hey, coach, what do you think of this date here? We're going to throw dates at each other till we get one. Now, if we don't agree, we just can't agree. Now we put it in the AD's hands and say, here's the date I wanted. Here's the date he wanted. Either arbitrarily pick one of them, or they may say, no, you're going to play the next day. You're both available. Now, here's the problem with that. Okay, let's say they say, okay, you're both open on the next Tuesday, but one of us plays Monday and Wednesday. So now your team play 3 straight days in a row, because the next date available for both, it would be that Tuesday, so to speak. There's where we got issues, because to me, that's unfair that you're going to stick them in there, because coaches are always going to look to see what's an advantage, where to play for themselves. That's just the way it is.
Sure.
Now, in this situation, a lot of it, Paul Hall, good friend of mine, Warrior, we had to reschedule him twice. Him and I did the talk. I said, Paul, what about these 2 days? Well, our girls play that date, so we can't do that. Okay, because they already have the gym. And both of us came up with a date that we really didn't want to do, because it put us both in a situation, a game in 3 straight days. But that's fair, because we're both in that situation. But you even have coaches that go and say, wait a minute, but the 3 I'm playing are tougher than the 3 you have. I don't want to do that. Now here we go, on and on and on. You can't do that. I don't like the fact that some teams have dropped a game, especially against somebody who's really good, because now, let's say you're involved in a position battle for that seed with that team, and the team they dropped, there was a good chance they would lose that game, which would help you.
Right.
But that's not going to be played. Now, is that fair? And it's, they're going to say, well, we just don't have days. Well, how come everybody else got days in and was willing to, well, we're not willing to play 4 games in 5 days like you did. And exactly what we did do. I don't like it. I think that the districts need to come up with a rule that says you got to play all district games. If you have a non-district schedule somewhere, cancel that and you get your district game in, because those ones have to supersede anything non-district. Not that I understand that that's an issue. But yeah, I do with you that I think those games should be played.
I'm with you 100%. So Region 6A for a moment, the dates for that region tournament, it's a lot of power seating and games to shake it out, so it's not a done deal yet. 3 points for a win, by the way, no for a loss. They're going to have their first round on the 20th, their semis on the 24th, and their championship on the 26th. So they'll go coming up on Friday. They'll play the semis on Tuesday, and then the finals will be on that 26th of Thursday. So there you have it. That's for Region 6A. What about Region 5A? Well, it's region pairings, or I should say dates. It'll be 5A girls and boys quarterfinals on the 23rd. Double headers will go 5:30 and 7, but they're going to be hosted at the higher seed on that Monday the 23rd, girls and boys semis on Wednesday the 25th, and then the finals are set for the girls and boys at 5:30 and 7 at Kellam High School Friday the 27th. We mentioned that on the girls' side, PA has the 1. Your 1-8 matchup is locked in. It'll be Green Run, who you just heard from Coach Harris. They're going to be hosting Deep Creek in that matchup, which, by the way, did not have Craig Frost on the sideline last night in its win over Lakeland. Did beat Tallwood the night before to lock up that 8th seed. Your 2-7 matchup is going to be Princess Anne playing the host to either, I say either because this is where it gets cloudy and murky, Kempsville or Cox. The 3-seed Indian River playing host to either Kempsville or Cox. Your 4-5 matchup is Salem, the 4, Kellam, the 5. They played last night, and the Sun Devils avenged its earlier loss during regular season to Kellam on the road by winning at home on senior night 72-55, got 23 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 steals from Josiah Mincy to lead the way. So I said it's murky because their region, when they sent out the updated calculations, Ed, their region chair had it where they get 3 points for a win, no points for a loss, no dividing by number of games, which is how I always thought it was. It was by win percentage, not wins versus losses. So I say that because Cox finished up 10-10 by beating Oak Tree Academy on Thursday night. Kempsville's win over Ocean Lakes closed out its season at 11-12. 10-10 is a better win percentage than 11-12. However, 11 wins is more than 10. So if they go with that method, it means Kempsville will get to 6 and go to Indian River, and Cox will get to 7 and go to PA. If they go by the method they've always gone with in the past, which was win percentage, Cox would be the 6, Kempsville would be the 7. It'd be Cox at Indian River, Kempsville at PA. So I haven't gotten clarity. I hope the coaches out there that do watch this show, and they do watch the show, whether it be, I'll go down in order from seating here, Harris, Montgomery, Spellman, Deloach, Hassel, Wolf, Freeman, all you guys out there, please chime in and let me know what the deal is, if they're going off win percentage or if it's off just wins. Because, again, to me, the fairest way would be win percentage, but I haven't gotten clarity on how they're doing it. So we'll have clarity, I'm sure, by next week when they do send out the official brackets, unless those brackets get sent out and they change it. Who knows? Any thoughts before I go on to 5B?
Yeah, no, you're right. Are you doing total wins and are you doing percentage? And I would think in most cases it's fair when you do percentage because not everybody plays the exact same teams in non-district.
Right.
And some teams will play because of the weather this year, maybe 18 games. Somebody else played 22. Right. Somebody played 23. You mentioned LC Bird, 14 games.
Yeah. Well, but again, it's not just, it's a lot of teams. But go back to that. So Cox only played 20 games. Kempsville played the full 23. So are you rewarding or penalizing? You can view this a couple of different ways. I just know how they've always done it in the past, and now it could be done differently. And again, there's multiple ways to skin a cat. You can do this 2 different ways. I'm not saying there's a right or wrong. I'm just looking for consistency, like you all are as coaches. You're looking for consistency. Consistency. So when I put these brackets out for people, I want to know if it's the same. It's not the same. There's no consistency.
Well, I know you hate putting brackets out, and all of a sudden something changed. Then people jump down your throat about Hatfield got the wrong brackets.
Start barking like a dog.
Yeah.
Pipe down, pup. Get your Scooby snack. All right. 5B. You got some Scooby snacks in this region. On the boys' side, haven't gotten the girls' side yet. On the boys' side, your 1 seed is, and by the way, all these games are at Norview, which is a whole nother topic and discussion, and we won't go to that today right now. And by the way, there was also a mini scuffle last night, again in the stands with the Pilots and the Titans. I hate to see this. It's unfortunate. We should be focused on Norview's perfect run in the Eastern District. But once again, it's what social media butterflies are talking about today. Some saying they're making a mountain out of a molehill. I don't know. I wasn't there. I decided to watch games on the computer Friday night, which was the way to go because I got to watch multiple games on multiple screens at once. So, yeah. Norview's the 1 seed, and they are projected to host the number 8 seed of the Bethel Bruins. And by the way, while I have a moment, I don't want to forget this because coming up on Tuesday night, they're going to recognize it's the farewell of a good friend of ours, Craig Breon at Bethel High School, longtime basketball coach, 30 years of dedication, passion, mentorship, 6 o'clock before their matchup with city rival Hampton. So going out there if you're a fan of just high school hoops, but Craig Breon and Bethel, I know there'll be a lot of alums there as he gets his well-deserved send-off, and what a career he's had, 400-plus wins, and one of the best people to do it, not just coaches, but people. So his team, though, is going to, it looks like, get the last playoff seed over Menchville and Warwick. Oh, by the way, Lamont Struthers was announced not going to be back at Menchville. He's decided to depart there. But Bethel the 8, at Norview the 1. Kings Fork is the 2 seed, and they're going to take on the 7 seed in Kickintan. Nansemond River, the 3 seed, taking on a surging Maury, the 6 seed. I say surging Maury because Darren Centerland's Commodores, they are starting to heat up a little bit here, Ed. They have played a lot better basketball in the second half of the season, and Maury here, since their slow start, has now won 6 of 8, which includes beating Granby and Princess Anne. And your 4-5 game, we'll see who gets what seed, is slated to be Woodside and Granby over there at Norview. And, oh, by the way, Woodside, who's won 3 straight region titles and won back-to-back state titles before Green Run knocked them off in the state semis last year over at Ocean Lakes, they could end up matching up with Norview, the top seed in the second round at Norview. Pretty interesting. And we could get chapter 3 of Kings Fork and Nansemond River, the rubber match, because they've split 2 encounters already. That's your former region, and I know those matchups are pretty juicy and tantalizing, especially after the first round. They get really intense.
Yeah, that's some heavy basketball there. Some strong rivalries, some great matchups. And right now, you think a Norview, maybe Kings Fork, as you said at the top of the show, the 2 hot teams, but I'm not putting anything past Woodside and Nansemond River. Seen them both this year. They have the players. Coaching is in play. Those top 4 right there. And who's to say somebody from the 5 and under doesn't sneak up and bite somebody because they're hot at the right time? And that one we're looking at is Maury, under a guy who knows what he's doing, Darren Sanderland.
4A, your region, sir. The number 1 seed's been locked up by the Hampton Crabbers. Hampton currently sitting at 20-1 overall in advance of its regular season finale at Bethel coming up on Tuesday. At the moment, the 8 seed is Willie Gauz's Phoebus Phantom 7-13, but they have 2 games left, and those games against Warwick and Menchville, who they've already beaten so far this season, so they can bump up from the 8 to the 7 line. Currently, the 7 line at 8-14 is Manor. The Mustangs at 8-14 do close out at Churchland. So 9-14 versus 9-13. If they both win out, Phoebus will still move ahead of Manor. Lafayette's the 2 at the moment at 16-4. Denby's the 3 at the moment at 15-4. Will that change? Well, Lafayette has 2 games left against Bruton and Grafton. As for Denby, they have 1 game left against Heritage of Newport News. So 1 more game, 1 more win. Thus, it looks like Lafayette, we can project unofficially in our presidential election here, to be the number 2 seed, Denby to be the 3 seed. Warhill, that lost to Gloucester, hurt them. They're 15-6, and they cannot move up. They're locked into 4. Then the 5-6 gets intriguing between Ed Young's Smithfield Packers, who are 10-10 and have lost twice to the Grafton Clippers this year, and Grafton is at 10-11, and Grafton still has a game left against Lafayette. If they were to win that game, they're going to probably more than likely get that number 5 seed, I should say, not number 4 seed. As for Ed's Packers, they finish up at Bruton and at New Kent next week to try to extend their 2-game winning streak. So since they lost the head-to-heads with Grafton twice, a 10-12 or an 11-11 finish with Grafton going 11-11 would give the nod to Grafton. But if Smithfield gets just 1 more win, the way I figured, Ed, it looks like your Packers would slide into the 5 game and see Warhill. If you slip up on the banana peel, it looks like you'll be the 6 seed and go to 3 seed Denby.
That's all news to me. So I'm learning right here, just like watching the NCAA selection show.
Listen, it's just like Coach Hatcher, our buddy, the living legend of Sports Inside and Out, Norview High fame, who used to come on radio with all the legends of sports. We got to give you the news that you can use, baby. The news that you can use.
Yeah, you're the one to do that. Yeah, we've got 2 left, going to Bruton and New Kent, 2 teams that have beaten us. New Kent is one of 2, have being the other.
Well, let me ask this question while you talk about that, because this has also been a topic. I have gotten at least 4, count them 4, and people think I've started this rumor. I could show you the text messages, but I'll get in trouble with those people that have texted me. 4 people have texted me about a particular team that lost a particular game, saying, are they trying to tank like the NBA? We're tanking to get a certain playoff seed. Without naming names or schools here, and I'll have those arrows thrown at me here, so I got to duck and dodge here, duck and dodge. What is your take on that method, A? And B, would Ed Young ever, in his wildest imagination, like, oh, here we go, would he ever try to tank a game to get a certain playoff seed? Mind you, everybody says, oh, we know Coach Young doesn't want to see the Crabbers in the playoffs. They're killing people. Well, you got to see them at some point, right?
Well, and you look at our district, I would dare say nobody, district region, nobody wants to play the Crabbers. Hampton right now, I haven't seen EC Glass. I think they're still undefeated, if I'm not mistaken, 4A.
Correct.
If they're better than Hampton, I got to see EC Glass play then, because I've seen Hampton play, and they are very good, well coached. They've got size, they got speed, they got quickness, they got scores all over. They play in your face defense. They have guys coming off the bench. They just have complete package. If I'm playing them, I'd rather play them in the championship. I don't want to play them anywhere else before that. But in terms of tanking, and somebody asked me this too this week about, and they were trying to reference me by saying, Coach, if you play in the 4, getting a 4 and 5, you're in Hampton bracket.
If you go throw the game this week, you'll get a 6 seed as opposed to a 5 seed. Yeah.
And I said, honestly, when I'm coaching, I'm not thinking in terms of losing. You've got to getting on them. Like last night, we played Pocosin, who beat us before, and Jeremy, who's a good friend, and he really knows his stuff, and he makes you have to make adjustments. And I told him the day after they beat us before, I said, Jeremy, I can't wait to play you again. I got something for you. And he laughed. He said, Coach, I bring it on. And we talked at length during the JV game about a lot of different things. And we ended up winning the game by beating him at his own game, as we ran something he has not seen us do all year. And it was a lot of ball control. We only took 12 or 13 shots in the entire second half, made 8 of them. That's not us by any means. And we had played a couple defenses that we had not played all year. But beside the point is, and I can only speak to myself, I can't tank because I'm going to try to win and do whatever it takes to win.
Sure.
And people say, well, in tanking, let's go to the NBA, because that's a big topic this week. You saw Utah Jazz. Yeah. Boy, they got fined big time when they set all their starters in a game that it was like a 2 or 3 point game, and they set all the starters and played the subs. And then people say, well, wait a minute, is that tanking? Well, in a way it is, because you're playing not your best guys the majority of the time. You think if you play your best guys, you have a greater chance. High school, you got to play people. First of all, I like to play people, period. You've known that. You've been on my case a lot of times about playing too many guys too long and so forth and so on. But I like to play because if we're fortunate enough to get in the playoffs, I want my guys ready, not have to put somebody in that haven't hardly played all year. So I'm going to play people. Then I expect those people, those kids, to do the job just as well as what the starters did. Maybe they're not as good, but they'll keep the ship sailing in the right direction. I outright cannot think of myself as tanking because I want to win. I just hate losing. I want to win. I can't speak to other people because that's their business in terms of what they're doing. And yes, you could. The obvious answer is, can people tank to avoid other ones? The obvious answer is yes.
Yes.
How would you do it? More than likely, I'm thinking maybe you don't play your starters hardly at all. You're better kids. And you go deep into the bench for kids who haven't really played a whole lot. I don't know. I'm guessing that would probably be the way you would do it. But me personally, I'm trying to win games. And then if you have to get in that situation where you're playing the power, at least you're there and you try to give the kids the best chance to win. That's the way I would look at it.
Before we take our final break and close out this episode of 757 Sports Talk, that brings us to 3A, where the number 1 seed at the moment is New Kent. Lake Taylor's the 2. Colonial Heights is the 3. The Berg is the 4. Who's the Berg? That's Petersburg. It's their time now. Hopewell is the 5. Tab is the 6. Lakeland is the 7. Cavaliers kind of limping in it for a couple of losses to First Colonial and Deep Creek. And then they have, by the way, coming up Nansemond River to close out the season, which might be an L as well. Heritage is the 8. Norcom, which knocked off Manor, by the way. Manor goes and beats Lake Taylor. Then the next night they lose to Portsmouth rival Norcom at home. Go figure, right? Can't figure it out, Manor, right now. They have threes. If they're hitting threes, look out. If they're not hitting threes, they're beatable. So Heritage is the 8. Norcom's the 9. Booker T's the 10. York is the 11. Don't get me on my soapbox about teams that are 1-17 and 0-16 making the playoffs because we beat it up in football. Let's be consistent. Let's be consistent in basketball. We don't need 1-2 no-win teams making the playoffs. They should go to 8 in that region. Why they're going with more than 8 is beyond my comprehension. Nonetheless, that's a rant for another time, and I'm sure I'll have it. Your round 1 matchups, if they hold true by next week, will be Tab against York, Lakeland against Booker T, and Heritage against Norcom on the boys' side. We'll have to get the girls' side for you over the weekend or on our TV portion of the show that'll air coming up on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. If you don't know about that TV portion of the program, you can always watch it on Your View. Those are the channels in Hampton Roads, Nova, Fredericksburg, and Roanoke in those markets. Your quarterfinal games would be New Kent against the winner of Heritage Norcom, Petersburg against Hopewell. How about that? We thought that might be a state championship matchup in the summertime before Hopewell's team basically defected and became a different team. Kids going to S3 Academy, this school, that school. Spellman going to Granby, Deshaun Spellman, that is. And then your other quarterfinal games, Colonial Heights against the winner of Tab York, Lake Taylor against the winner of Lakeland Booker T. So the big portion is, when you get to the semifinals, if this holds, it would put Lake Taylor and Petersburg, which I think you would concur are the 2 favorites to come out of that region, on other sides of the bracket. But if New Kent stubs its toe against the Smithfield Packers this week, or stubs its toe in general, it could open the door. I'm just saying.
New Kent's pretty good. I mean, unfortunately, I got to play them on Wednesday. They have a great full court press. They can put 4 scores on the floor. They can spread you out. They're very athletic.
Somebody told me that their top guy or one of their top scorers is injured. Now, you would know better than I. I haven't seen them lately since I watched them play a few weeks ago.
I haven't really looked at them or scouted them yet because we got Tab first.
Okay.
So I that information hasn't crossed my desk.
And by the way, New Kent is at Tab, and you say, well, that's a W. Not necessarily. It was 91-81 the last time they played. So, New Kent's got 2 games left. If they lost both of them, that would open the door for Lake Taylor to get the 1 seed. I'm not sure 1 loss is enough for Lake Taylor to jump ahead of them. But I know 2 would be for sure.
And see, I know you when you said Petersburg got the 4th seed, I'm like, you kidding me? Petersburg is going to win the state championship.
Is that a guarantee?
Guaranteed.
If they don't win the state championship, what will Ed Young do as consequences?
Because I know you want to hear it. I'll shave my head, wear my blue suit, and run nude down to the Smithfield ham factory.
Whoa! We don't need to see that. That's a little bit too much to take on Valentine's Day. The blue suit and shaving your head is just plenty for me. I don't need you to run nude in a ham factory. We're good with that. We are good with that. I think you value your job and not getting locked up and put in prison. So you don't have to do that. You don't have to go that far. It's okay. Man, did you really say that? Are we on the air still? Is this the bloopers version?
I said it because that's exactly what you wanted to hear. Some crazy stuff.
I didn't want to hear you running nude in a ham factory. I did not want to hear that. No, I did. The other part I did. Yeah, I didn't want to hear you about getting your head shaved and having to wear your blue suit and all that. Yeah.
Petersburg is extremely talented, big, deep. And people say, well, how you can pick them when they're 4th? Well, if you haven't kept up with Petersburg, their losses, Matt might know a little bit better than me. They're outside teams who are really good.
Correct.
And I know rankings, you have to go by your record. And Petersburg has always said, Ty White, the head coach, said his main focus is on a national level. Yes, he values state championships, but he's not worried about playing and beating local teams. He wants to be able to play a national type schedule. And he got beat by some of those big-time teams who would beat a majority of the other Virginia teams in the state. I'm just going to call it like it is. Some people don't want to hear that, but, I'm more of a realist than rah-rah, and that's just the way it is. Lake Taylor, I've seen Lake Taylor. Very good. Very good. And I play against New Kent, so they're up there. I haven't seen Colonial Heights.
You just gave them bulletin board material to make you have to go running in a ham factory without anything on. They don't want to see it, though, so I don't know how much motivation you really gave them. You could have also thrown in there that you would buy Willie Gauze that steak finally, too.
The steak Willie Gauze is
at the most expensive steak place in America.
No, I'm picking the steat place.
No, he doesn't want to get it at that local diner down there. They basically it's been
no, it ain't gonna be no cheap place. But will be at King's Throne at Chris Roof Steakhouse, and then for dessert, he'll probably want to go to the Brazilian steak place. I know Willie's got expensive taste.
Okay. We'll come back with one more segment and put the finishing touches on this episode of 757 Sports Talk. And we'll keep our clothes on. Don't worry, ladies and gents. Clothes will stay on for this
And
final
I don't want
segment.
no fool in the pool either. It's a fool in the pool free show.
But it is Valentine's Day, so we do have a couple of surprises before we bid adieu. Right here on Cova Sports TV. Now this from those that help make it possible. Back in just a moment. Right here on Cova Sports TV. Yeah, you got it, Willie. You got it. Hang tight. One more commercial break. We're talking college hoops to close out the show.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us, and the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
I'm Dr. Mark Cardelia, orthopedic surgeon and surgical director of the CHKD Sports Medicine Program. We see a lot of knee injuries in student athletes these days, and many of these are ACL tears. Parents often ask how to know when a knee injury may be serious. The most obvious symptom is severe pain or swelling in the knee joint. Your child may have heard a pop when the injury occurred. Look for signs they can't put weight on the knee around 48 hours after the injury, or if the knee feels unstable or wobbly. Those are all signs you should see a CHKD sports medicine specialist. Our sports medicine physicians, surgeons, athletic trainers, and physical therapists understand the needs of growing athletes and tailor treatment to fit each child's age and level of activity. Our goal is to accurately diagnose the problem in a timely fashion and provide the treatment that will ensure a safe return to activity. Kids want to play, and we want to help them get back in the game. To learn more, visit chkd.org. Sports medicine at CHKD. We're more than a hospital.
As Boss Skaggs once said, we're all alone. We're all alone.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Yeah, Ed's going to be all alone, too, for Valentine's Day. He has nobody. What are you shaking your head for?
See, people don't know the latest with Matt Hatfield.
Oh no! Oh no!
Matt Hatfield has entered the field of substitute teacher, and the stories he'll have is ready to write another book already just on that part of substitute teacher, Mr. Hatfield. He also substitutes in offices or wherever they're needed in any particular school district. For him, Virginia Beach. So the little video snippet that he showed you, he was subbing in an office. And there was already another lady in the office subbing. But when Hatfield came in, he basically ran this older lady away. So now he got to run the whole office. And he wanted to change things. He wanted to give early dismissal to kids. He wanted to give 2 lunches to everybody because that's what he wants. And freebies because if it's free, it's him. And his motto, if it's free, it's me. But it's kind of what I am too, though. So here, Hatfield is running amok in the substitute business because he's the way in. And we're going to have to be careful because just like Fool in the Pool, we may have to get the feds. Maybe
the
ICE.
feds?
Yes. Might have to.
No. There needs to be no investigating on this matter. But I do want to get your quick take on what Pastor Tang had to say. Did you see Pastor Tang the other day?
Pastor Tang?
Pastor Tang. We're talking about Jerome Tang of Kansas State men's basketball.
Hey, I'm gonna honor Christ like I always do. Blessed to do this, but this was embarrassing. These dudes do not deserve to wear this uniform. There will be very few of them in it next year. I'm embarrassed for the university. I'm embarrassed for our fans, our student section. You know, it is just ridiculous. We got practice at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we will get this thing right. I have no answer and no words. So y'all got 2 questions. So whoever want to ask 2 questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability right now. But right now, like I'm like pissed, and this is all right. Questions.
I guess it just kind of comes with puzzling if you look at your road and home splits, last 4 road games have been down the wire, and you run off the court. Just kind of explain that.
Yeah, I don't know. I asked the staff this week that same question, and they said that more the opponents. You play. I don't know, because I followed Minnesota last year closely, and they played great on the road and struggled at home. So then they started staying in hotels at home, like treating it like a road game. And so I even talked about, hey, do we need to change that change? But no, none of that crap matter, man. These dudes got to have some. They got some pride, man. They got some pride. It means something to wear a K-State uniform. It means something to put on this purple, man. Our everything this university is about and all that it's been about. Why I love this place, man. Like they don't love this place, so they don't deserve to be here.
Just what did you make of the student section with paper bags on their heads?
Yeah, I'd wear a paper bag too if I was them. Thanks a lot, fellas. God bless.
I'd wear a paper bag too if I was them. Oh, he's got the paper bag, ladies and gents. There he goes. So Ed Dunn will put on the paper bag for a quick edition of almost an episode. Quick edition of Take Your Pick. You ready to play Take Your Pick?
Yeah, let's do Take Your Pick. Jerome Tang, I feel you, man. I have been there many times. He held back nicely because he about to destroy that play.
It's his job, though, to get this thing figured out, isn't it?
Well, be careful what you recruit because you recruited him in, and but I understand where he's coming from, and he held it in. Boy, I'm glad somebody didn't ask a real dumb question because he would have. Bobby Knight, reminiscent of some Bobby Knight press conferences in the past. Go back and go to YouTube and look up Bobby Knight press conferences if you want to have some laughs. Yeah. Bobby Knight did it the best.
All right, here we go. Take your pick. 12.5-point favorites are the Blue Devils of Duke, who lost last week The court storming with UNC. No Caleb Wilson, by the way, for UNC. And it's a matchup against Pitt today at the Dean Dome. But take your pick, Edward. Clemson at Duke. Who you got?
Give me Duke.
Give him Duke, he says. He likes
Duke's win this.
All right. I'm going to take Duke to win outright, but I will take Clemson on the number. I think they will cover.
I got Duke both ways. I don't think
Woody wants to know why that was brought about. Well, Kansas State got clobbered its last time out, Woody. Kansas State got beat by Cincinnati with Wes Miller, and Ed brought the paper bag because literally Cincinnati had we're going to wear paper bags at the game earlier this season if you watched our TV portion of the show that we had. So Cincinnati comes into Manhattan and wins by almost 30. It warranted that. All right, so you're going Duke. My next one on Take Your Pick, I'll go first here. It is Kansas at Iowa State. Tell you what, this is an interesting one. Darren Peterson, we know about him in and out of the lineup with the injury. And I think, by the way, Bill Self has addressed that right. People are crucifying Peterson a little bit too much. I mean, he's had a hamstring issue. He's going to be the first pick in the draft or second pick in the draft at the worst. But I think he's mighty good. And I think they'll play well at Iowa State. 7.5 is the number, which is too many points. But give me the Cyclones. Well, man, Masilovic to knock down a bunch of threes. He's averaging 18.4 points per game. Lipsy dishing it out. Flory Badunga inside is much improved for KU. But on the road, I like Iowa State in the spot.
Iowa State in a close one. Kansas will definitely cover.
All right, our next one, and take your pick as we race through these. Kentucky, the Wildcats at Florida, who, by the way, is red hot. It was a Final Four pick for you start of the year. That front court is legit to quit. Kentucky in this game is an underdog. Not a hefty dog. Well, somewhat a hefty dog, I guess you could say. 13.5. Yeah, that's a hefty dog. A lot of points there, but I think the Gators are rolling. I think they'll win this. I think they'll cover. Guard plays a little up and down for Kentucky at times with Otega Owa being the main straw that stirs the drink, but Florida's front court is too much.
Yeah, Florida. They got my guy. What's his name? Oliver, big boy, 7'9".
You don't see the floor, but like 2 minutes a game.
Yeah, but he's a comer. I like that dude. I met him in camp years ago. Florida to win. I think Kentucky will keep it close though.
Yeah, your boy, Mr. Ryu, who's 7 foot, 7'7", 7'10",
7'9".
7'9". Yeah, he averages 1.9 minutes per game and 0.7 points per game. Stop it. Next, I'll let you go first. The Zona Cats coming off that loss earlier this week. They're first at Kansas, by the way, without Peterson, hosting the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. And Mr. Anderson, Chris Anderson, he is really good as his top in Texas Tech.
What's the spread?
Spread in this game is interesting. Arizona is favored by 9.5.
Something that's tagging up me to say pick Texas Tech. But I don't see Arizona losing this at home. But I do see Texas Tech covering. I'm going Arizona Tech to cover.
All right. I'm going to go – you're going Texas Tech to cover?
I think Texas Tech will cover, but Arizona wins.
Ditto. Same thing for me on this one. I think Arizona's going to have the inside play and enough. They don't shoot a lot of threes, which could be their Achilles heel come tournament time. Not a big three-point shooting team. And our last one's a women's edition of Take Your Pick. You know where I'm going. You know where my pops is going. It's part of 2 games today at Chartway Arena. JMU at Old Dominion. JMU has won 12 straight in the series. Does the streak end today, Ed?
I don't think so. Dan rolling with it. Old Dominion has had trouble holding on to leads. Madison is going to probably take care of that most of the game. Give me Madison.
You're a bad man.
I'm a bad man.
ODU. Gonna get it done today.
I hope OD wins. I do, but
gonna get it done today. All right. And as we show you our Super Bowl picks to close out the show from last week, how the results did, this is Ed's chance to now gloat on the show because he ended up having the better Super Bowl record compared to Brucey and compared to me. He got it done. 3-1 is winners. He had yellow-green with the Gatorade. My source was wrong on that. I had red and pink. He had Seattle -4.5, as did I. He had under 23.5 for the first half total. Your only loss was what, Ed? What was your loss? Oh, it was JSN getting a touchdown. He didn't score.
Well, I would normally gloat, but there's no need to. When it comes to the big time, the big timer steps up.
2-2 for me and 2-2 for Bruce. I did win on Seattle. Like I mentioned, Kenneth Walker was the MVP pick. No 33-yard field goal for both teams did not hit for me. Bruce was able to win with over 28.5 for Trevion Henderson's rushing and receiving and under 45.5 for the game, but lost on Pat's plus 4.5 and Drake May with a TD run. So that's going to do it for this episode of 757 Sports Talk. For the coach, Ed Young, I am Matthew Hatfield, and we'll catch you next time, Lord willing, as Coach likes to say, on 757 Sports Talk.
Remember, Valentine's Day, honeys, get something for your honeys, but I don't have to waste any money today.
That means he didn't have anybody that wanted to go out with him.
I ain't got nobody, right?
What it is. That's what it is.
I'm content. I got my eyes on two.
I'm sure you do. You have your eyes on lots of people. We have our eyes on you to watch you to make sure you behave. We'll see you next time on 757 Sports Talk. Have a great rest of your weekend. Catch you later.